Hello, and welcome to This Life of Cars. Having now owned this Ford Fiesta ST3 since October, I thought this would be a great opportunity to actually make my first video about the car. I obviously went out to buy a small hot hatch. There are a couple on my list, namely the Polo GTI, a Mini Cooper of some description, the Ford Fiesta ST3, and I was considering all kinds of things really, but this one stacked up the best. Every dealership that I went to didn't have a car for me to look at, and with no disrespect to them, VW didn't have a Polo GTI. I negated the Mini straight away because of the cost of actually having everything that I wanted to have on the car, and the others simply didn't really appeal to me in terms of looks alone, looks and price. So I went to Ford in Chichester, I went to Hendy Ford in Chichester, and they spoke to me for some time about what cars they had on offer, whether I was looking for a used or a new car, and he literally chipped me the keys for a Fiesta ST3. I took it out for a drive on my own. There was absolutely no pressure from the dealer there whatsoever to actually try to sell me a car. And I took it for a good drive on my own. Nothing stupid, of course, but I really wanted to see what the car could do on my own, with no pressure from a salesman sitting next to me. I really liked that. I thought that was a really nice touch. Got back to the showroom and weighed it all up, decided what we might be able to do in terms of a financing option, and it stacked up really rather well. And I thought to myself, well look, this is a car that definitely puts a smile on my face. I love the way it sounds. I can drive it quite hard, and I'm returning at the moment 38.6, and I've been driving it reasonably hard just now. On a long trip I was seeing over 40 miles to the gallon. I took it to the Midlands last week or the week before, and we were seeing returns of over 40 miles to the gallon at motorway speeds. It's not bad, it's not bad. It's a little car, it has a little engine, really quite a clever little turbo in there as well. There's not too much lag. I really like that, having experience of turbo cars for over 15 years. You can get a bit disappointing when you suffer serious turbo lag when you don't need it. You know, when you need it the least, there's gonna be a degree of lag there. With this, it just picks up nicely. It's a 1.6, just over 180 horsepower. I don't even care what the torque figures are. The stats for 0 to 60 are about 7 seconds, just below 7 seconds. And for a little car, it's a Ford Fiesta at the end of the day. Not bad at all. It's a hot hatch. They're meant to be driven like that. There's no point in tiptoeing around, and if you do, that's fine. I like the way it looks. I think it's a cheeky little car, puts a smile on my face. I've enjoyed driving it, and it's also a car that I can actually get in and enjoy that driving. The torque vectoring, whatever's going on under the front there, I'm not going to pretend to be an engineer and understand all that stuff, but yes, you've got to hang on to the steering wheel. It's a front wheel drive car. It's a tiny little car with 180 something horsepower, but with regard to how it drives, it's satisfying. When you start to push it and the chassis really sharpens up, it hunkers down, there's no trickery in terms of the suspension, it's all absolutely regular stuff going on underneath. Back roads are epic. It's just such a laugh. And then when it comes to motorway driving, I've been in more uncomfortable cars that cost 3 times the price. The monthly payments on this are excellent. When I bought the car, the dealer contribution blew me away. I know some people think it's a bit of a con, and in some respects, yeah, it could be. The dealer contribution plus my deposit brought this car down to a price that it wouldn't have made sense to buy a second-hand one, and that was impressive. Example of how she just hunkers down and you drive through the corner. Obviously, being front wheel drive, you're going to be under load, under power through the corners, but the thing just pulls itself through like it's on rails. You'd have to really try hard to kick the back end down. I can think of somebody who could do it quite easily. This was a daily driver. It had to serve a purpose. It had to be economical to a sense that, or in a sense that, I didn't want to be paying hundreds of pounds a month in terms of ownership with regard to running costs. Financing's one thing, but then running costs are another. And when you're doing a few miles, I don't do a lot of miles anyway, but it just detracts from the fun in a car like this if I'm thinking that I'm whacking out a hell of a lot of money when I've got the RX-7 at home too. What more can I say? For a little car, this is probably one of the tidiest little packages you can get. Value for money. Performance, I don't think it looks that bad either. I have a little issue with how tall it looks, but it's the way that it is. They've got a die-hard following in terms of the people that do own them know how good they are. They do appreciate that they're a fun drive. And I've surprised a few people by going for a car like this. The surprise sort of ends when we go for a drive. But all in all, I'm seriously impressed. There's not another car out there, for me, for this kind of money, with this, in loose terms, with this kind of performance, in such a tidy, tight little package. I come back to the point that the chassis is epic, actually. Like I said, it's got a German car feel about it in terms of the tightness. And in terms of the drive, in terms of the torque vectoring, whether it is actually torque vectoring or not, some say it is, some say get real, but who am I to know? You can get the power down. It's front wheel drive, you always expect a bit of slip. You always expect a bit of torque steer. But it just delivers. It delivers for this price, in this class of car. It delivers, and it delivers well. And I don't regret buying it. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Drive safe, I'll see you all again. Cheers.